Hello and welcome back, and this is part 3 of our Tamiya Yamaha XV1600 Roadstar, and we're going to pick up right on where we left off last time. If this is your first time viewing, you can go to the playlist and watch this from the unboxing right through to where we are now. It's at number 13. And let's have a look. So what I've done now, just finished doing, is the exhaust system. So there you go. So I've chromed that. I've just painted that up about an hour ago, and it's come up looking really, really nice. And yeah, I'm really happy with that. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do some burn marks on, some heat marks on there. You know how you get that tinge of blue and orange and red on it? So I'll be doing that on the corners, on the bends down here, maybe a bit on the end of here, we'll see, and get that effect happening. Other than that, well, you know where we're at on the instructions. We're at step 11 now. The end caps there, I'll put those on the exhaust. They're supposed to go on. And then step 12, as soon as that's all dried up, we'll be fitting it to our bike, which we've got here. Just keeping a bit of plastic over it to keep the dust off, but there it is. We've got the rear guard on, and you saw how well that paint came up. Those who know, this is the Outlaw Paints dark blue pearl, and it's looking really nice. Now I'm waiting to get this. I'm going to polish this up. So this is only screwed in on the side here. It can come back off easily. So I'm hoping to get hold of some polishing product and giving these a bit of a polish up. But in the meantime, we should still be able to move on to the step 13, which is a bit more work on the front guard. We've got to attach a couple of tabs to it, and then the guard itself will get connected to the front forks. All right, so yeah, let me get this exhaust finished up, and we'll come back and have a look at that when it's done. Okay, I'll be back in a sec. Okay, welcome back. So the exhausts are finished. Let's have a look at them. Just grab them. And here we go. What do you think? There we go. So all I did was use some clear blue, clear yellow, and clear red, and put the tinge marks on there, and up all right. See, a bit hard to see it around the top there, but it is. Need a black background. Oh no, that's okay. But yeah, so I'm happy with the way that showed up, and that's ready to go on. These are our two little end caps that'll pop in the end there, and they're done. Now, there's something I forgot to do on step 10. Quick look. So what I did was I had to take the rear mudguard, or the rear fender, I should say, off, because I forgot, well, I missed it. There are decals to go on. Okay, so yeah, we have some decals. So here's our decal sheet, and let's have a look what these look like. There we go. Now the decals we need to use are, just quickly check. Okay, so as you can see here, we have these decals. Just get out. That's it. So there's a choice, and it depends on which color you're doing this. Now the original colors for this are the white bike or the black one. Because we're doing the midnight blue, we need to do the decals that would be for the black bike. And going by the instructions, that would be number 1 and 2. Okay, so they're the white ones. Okay, there's some gold ones there if you're doing the gold bike, the white bike. Obviously, you wouldn't see the white ones on there, but the white ones are going to go on top of the blue there. So that's what we need to do now, and then put another clear coat over the top to make sure that they're down properly. So I need to go and do that now, and we'll come back when they're done. And also, while we're at it, there's decals for the fuel tank that we've got painted up. There's also decals, I'm assuming there would be for the front fender as well. Looks like it, there is there. Possibly there's a decal for that little other piece that goes on the side. We'll check that out. But yeah, I don't get too far ahead. But yeah, the decals continue on. I'm just trying to find what step of the instructions. Yeah, step 13 is showing the decals going on the front fender. Not a problem. Just got to be careful I don't miss that in future. Putting the decals on. All right, I'll be back and put those on in a sec. Okay, welcome back. So as you see, I've time-lapsed one side of each guard, and I'm not going to do the other side. It's just a repeat of what I've already done. So I'll do that off camera. Now, one important thing I want to note is the decals are longer than they need to be, which explains why there's a bit of an overhang on there, and the same on the front one as well. What I'm going to do is I'm going to leave that there, and when I've done the other side, which I won't do until this is completely dried on there, because the last thing I want to do is turn it over, do the other side and move it around or pull it off or something. So I don't want that to happen. Is after the other side's on, I'm going to clear coat this to seal them on, so they'll be even better. Not going to come off. And then I'll come along with a sharp knife and trim the ends off there so that they're perfect. So in the meantime, while they're drying, and I'm going to give them a good amount of time to dry, I'll put them up here and may as well get on with the fuel tank. So the fuel tank has a decal to go on each side. You'll see it here on the sheet. So that's them there. And yeah, we'll see about putting those in place. Yeah, and should be good. It's okay, it's not paint off it, it's just a bit of white fluff. All good. Okay, so I won't show doing this. We've seen how the decals go on. They are very good decals, no problem at all. As you can see in that time lapse, I was maneuvering it around quite a bit. Using the mark fit, I've always used that. It's great stuff. That helps it settle down. You'll notice I put a layer over the top at the end and left that, and that'll just let it seal in and sit down flat. Yeah. All right, so when we come back, I'll have the other side of those done, this one done, and maybe even clear coated. We'll see how we go. All right, we'll be back in a sec. Hey, welcome back again. All right, so they're all, the decals are done. I've clear coated over them, and that's drying, and I need to let that dry properly before I touch it. So in the meantime, let's put the exhaust on. So we're moving into step 11 now, and we'll also cross off step 10. Consider that done. So for the exhaust, quite simple really. Here we go. Here it is here. Nice. Basically we got our 2 points up there, and then there's that little piece on the back that sits up against a bit of plastic sticking out. So if we do a test fit, that in there like that, that's it basically, and that's on. Now I will make sure this is in the right place. It needs to be running underneath. That's going to go into the brake pedal, I think. Yeah, so we'll leave that there. But yeah, so that's how that's going to sit on there. All right. Now, one other thing too is I quickly raced down to the local hardware store, picked up a bag of microfiber cloths, got about 20 of them for $10, which is not bad. And thank you to Paul Price, who's suggested some of this. So this is a Digger's isopropyl alcohol. I think it was about $10 for that as well. Basically for cleaning. And if you may notice, I gave the chrome a bit of a clean, and it came up absolutely beautiful. I mean, I can see my reflection in that magically. So yeah, good for any surface painting, cleaning. Get those dust and fingerprint marks and stuff off. Mind you, I do wash my hands 20-30 times a day when I'm modeling. Every time I touch the model, have a break or whatever, I come back, I'll always wash my hands. Just dishwashing liquid helps. So yeah. All right, enough talk. I'll get this glued on, and then that is step 11 done, was putting the exhaust together. 12 was putting it on. Then we'll get over to see what we can do about step 13, even though I haven't really got the guard to put on there at the moment because it's drying, but we'll see. Okay, let me just get this attached up properly, and I shall be back. Okay, so there it is. That's just drying on there. I'm going to leave that, put that away safe, out of sight. Let that dry. And now we'll move on to step 13. I'll put that up in the corner here. So step 13 involves that front guard, which is drying. so we're not going to be able to do anything about that. But what we can do is take off all the parts for the front shock absorbers, and up the top where the steering column goes on, so we can get some of all these parts off. And then once I've got them all ready, we may actually jump down to step 14. I'll bring that up, you can have a look. And on step 14, we'll do the front wheel. Get all the chrome parts off and get out that front wheel set up. There's also just a bit of tubing for looks like the brakes that needs to go on there, but that's done at the end of the step 14. All right, so yeah, I'll get these parts off the sprue cleaned up. Okay, we'll be back in a sec. Hey, back again. So here's our parts for the front shock absorbers, all taken off. And what I've done is I've gone ahead, is it? No, that's right. So this part here, which is D10, needs to be sprayed black. We need to do that gloss black. So I've masked the top of that up, which will stay chrome. And also there's a tiny little pipe piece that actually sits underneath there where the brake lines run into. This is going to also be black. So I figured I'll go paint that, because there's nothing else that needs to be painting throughout steps 13 and 14. Although these here, the brake calipers, which I'll brush paint, will be done silver or aluminium, I should say. And yeah, and there's a few little, I think it's, let me check what that one is. F16. We got silver and metallic grey, okay, for the bolt heads like we've done previously. All right, so I'll do that and I'll get them painted up, and then I'll come back and then those can go aside. These parts here are actually in step 14. They go connected on top of these, so they stay silver, so that's all ready to go. And now we're just going to get all the parts off for the front tire, the rims set up. Okay, I'll be back in a sec. Okay, welcome back again. So we're putting the front rim together for the front wheel, and I've just glued these two parts together. We'll just let them stick, and then we've got the axle to go through and the centerpiece, and now we've got the disc. So what I'm doing is, like I did with the rear wheel, is I'm going to drill out all the holes here. Now I'm using the Icky Sticky tungsten micro drill bits. Great stuff here. And I'm going to use, what's that one? A 0.6 mil. I think that should be all right. We'll just try one of these holes and see. Let's put one. And I mean, it goes through very easily, as you can see. And that looks like, yeah, that's perfect size. It'll take me a little bit of time, but I'll work my way around. I'll drill all these out, and then we've got to do the other side as well, and continue putting it together. Now the fenders, I don't know if I mentioned it before, but the decals are on, they're clear coated, they'll be dry very shortly. So yeah, I'll get them all finished up. So by the time we come back here, we'll have a look and see how they're looking. Okay, we'll be back in a sec. Okay, welcome back everybody, and I'm continuing on here with our wheels, and they're coming together well. I've drilled out the discs, holes in the discs on that side. I've done this one as well. I'm just letting that dry, and then I'll glue this one in place on top of there, and that'll be done, just waiting for the tire to go on. The shock absorbers on the front, they're all done in the way that you'll see. I ended up putting a bit of brass, or copper actually. It's the same copper I used on the underside of the bike where the spring is. I'll show you just to remind you. There it is underneath there. So there's a bit of copper under there, and that piece there. So well, it'd be a nice touch. So I put them on the brakes, and looking good. The thing I'm really happy with is these. So let's have a look at this. Look at that. There it is of our pinstripe. Really nice. I've trimmed them off where they were overhanging, where they were a little bit longer. Looking nice. It's a beautiful shine on that clear coat. And that was the, excuse me, front one. There's the rear. Good. There it is there. And the fuel tank. There's our nice fuel tank. All right. Now, I did not put the decal on the fuel tank. I attempted to, for those who notice. There it is there. And you see, the problem with it is it's one piece of decal plastic, which meant the whole side of the tank on each side would be covered. And I still want to polish this. I obviously wouldn't be able to do that with that on. Now, I tried to fit this. I tried to sit it, but because of the curve that it's sitting on, I just couldn't get it to sit properly. And then, of course, there's the two holes in there where we've got to put a bit of chrome piece on. They aren't in the decal, so I would have had to make holes in the decal. And in the end, I thought it's just not worth it. So I've left that pinstripe off on the tank. Yeah, don't tell anyone. It'll be fine, but I'm going to polish this up. I'm going to polish all these three pieces up. As you can see them there. And I mean, they look good now, but I can just give them a little bit of polish and get them looking even better. And then I'll put the rear fender back on the bike, and then we can start fitting the front fender on between these forks and get all that part put together. Okay, but I'll finish this wheel first. That's almost done, and then we'll come back. Cheers. Okay, welcome back again. So let's have a look at what we've done. There's our wheel together. And now we've put the rear fender in place. That's on. Good. And now we need to work on the front forks with the front fender, which is there. So I'm going to try this time lapse. I've already put in the brake lines on this because I figured it would be easy to do once that little piece was fitted in there. So that's on. So yeah, let's get this put together and see how it looks. Let's watch this. Here we go. Okay, welcome back. So that was a bit nerve-wracking getting that on. As I was placing that little support for the brake calipers in there, which also is the support for the shock absorber, it actually came off where it was glued. So I had to glue it back on, and all things started falling apart in my hand, but I got it back on, and then I was worried that I hadn't fitted it back in exactly the same position because one was a little bit higher than the other. And I thought, oh, what's happened here? Why aren't they even? And when I tried to push it even, it looked okay. So anyway, I fitted on the top section and pushed them down, and then clipped this in the top, and it all lined up. So thank God for that. Right now, I'm just attaching the brake lines, which I've got that one in, and now I'm just going to do this one. Another little tip, use an old needle to just open up the end a bit, like an old airbrush needle, or you could probably use the end of some tweezers as well. Yeah, that opened that up enough, and then some flat tweezers to attach it, just so they don't do any damage. Let's see how that goes on there. The other side went on well. You know what happens when you do this. Try this side. And we just want to touch that into there. Wiggle it around. And that's on. Great. All right, that's both sides of those on. I will touch them with just a tiny bit of CA glue in there just to make sure they hold in place. All right, excellent. So that completes step 14 and 13. So they're all done. And then we get down to 15, which is the handlebar assembly. I like doing this, a lot of nice little detail on that. I'll put the instructions up there in that corner. Step 15. So as you can see there, we've got some more of the rubber hose to go on for the lines, of course. We've got our handles and throttle and bits and pieces to go on there with the handlebar itself. A bit of painting, a bit of detailing. Yeah, it looks good. So let me grab the parts off the sprue. I'll even cut all these rubber tubing to length and have them all ready. And we can start putting that together. All right. And when does it actually go on the bike, this front? It looks like it's another 2 steps away in step 17. All right, we'll be back in a sec. Okay, so we're back with the handlebars here and all the hose lengths that we need, and also the grips with the cable, clutch cable and brake, clutch and brake lever, I'd say. All right, so the best way I've come up with painting these is most of this is aluminium color, which I'll be using, there it is, aluminium. And what I'm going to do is spray the whole thing aluminium, and then I'll come along with some black. I've got a rubber black to do the hand grip, because that's the only part, I think. Yes, that's all it needs to be, the hand grip. And then the ends will be silver chrome. Silver, is it? Yeah, silver. So I'll be able to just touch that with a brush. And then some more finer detail parts on the other accelerator here, on the other handlebar, which have the on-off switch, which will be red, and another button there. So yeah, so that's the way. This came off. This is fine. The connection points are where the hand grips will be, so that's going to be out of sight. I've trimmed them all up, so that's going to go on there, no problem, trust me. And that'll be fine. And then there's this tiny little piece here, we don't want to lose that, where there's 2 hose connections go onto that, and that will sit in there, and that's going to be an aluminium color as well. Okay, so I will go paint these up, and we'll come back and take a quick look at them. and get them on the handlebars. All right, I'll be back in a sec. Okay, back, and once again waiting for paint to dry. We'll move on to the next step, which is step 16, where we got to get the finish the tank actually. So there's our fuel tank. I don't know if I mentioned it before. I have put those badges on the side. There's two options. There's a European or a Japanese version. I can't really tell the difference, but hey, I put the European ones off the sprue. So they're on. The little, I think I said that there's the decal for the fuel cap. Now on here we need to put actually the fuel cap. I've got it off ready here, and there's this here that's got to go on as well, which is going to go. I haven't even tried this yet. Let me put the glasses on. That helps. And see, is that the right way? I think it's the right way. Yep. Yep, I think so. I think I may have to just whittle out that hole a little bit to help that fit. No problem. And then there's some decals. Well, actually, the decal for this they don't tell you to put on. I say do. Yeah, there is a decal to go on there for the speedometer. Do that, but yeah, I'll get this sorted and we'll pop that on. Be back in a sec. Okay, that did eventually pop in there, and yeah, nice fit. Just put a tad of glue down in there, and then the fuel cap is going to go on here. There it is there. Fantastic. That's good. All right, so I'll glue these on and get my fingerprints off. And again, back in a second. Okay, there we go. Nice and shiny. And right to go. Now, this is under there where the glue was. Get on my finger. Good one. All right. There's also these side parts to go on as well. Let's see those. 1, 2. And we can put these on, but they've got these little Yamaha badges on the side here, which I don't know why the kit didn't include them like they have for the ones for the tank already chromed, because they say that it needs to be done chrome. And that's going to be a little bit tricky, how small they are. I was hoping I had a chrome pen, but unfortunately I've only got white, black and gold. I will have another look around for my chrome pen. Otherwise, we'll just have to touch that up with a tiny little brush. Should be fine. And then these can go straight on. In fact, I might even put these on before I attempt that, because I may still, I'm going to have a need for a chrome pen if I can't find the one I did have. Yeah, I do have these ones here. They're Posco ones. And this one is black. And then I've got another one here. I think this is a white one. Yeah, but no chrome. Anyway, we'll sort that out. So let's have a look at putting this tank on anyway. I think we can do that now. I'm just checking, there's two little spots on the back here. They're saying XF56 instructions, which are, let's see, XF56. So we want that metallic grey. Okay. And let's have a look. Let's grab the bike anyway and have a look and see. Okay, so here it is here. And I'm just going to work out where the tank is going to sit. And it shouldn't be too difficult to figure out. Okay. So this pretty much just goes straight on there like that. And those bits under there that they wanted to done in the chrome grey, we could probably touch them up and put them in. Yeah. Okay. And those two side pods, these ones here, pretty much just go, just looking at where that's going to sit. Oh, there's some marks, so that's going to go in there and there. Like that. All right. Fantastic. All right. Well, I'll glue these on now, and then, as usual, we shall return. Okay, there we go. Tank is on. The side pieces are on. And now we can go and check out the handlebar, the hand grips, and they should be painted. They should be dry now. And we'll get those attached onto here, and we can put that on. And that will finish both step 15 and 16. All right, be back in a sec. Okay, welcome back. So we've got our hand grips done for the steering wheel. Now let's have a look at them. First, we'll have a look at this one. So this one will go on our right hand side. Okay. So we've got our little red button there for the switching the bike on. Two little black buttons down. We've got these on, ready to go down to where they go. And yeah, so let's see if we can get this off. There we go. And place it on the handlebar. Does not want to go in there very easily. I'll be right back. I'm just going to double check this. Okay, there it is. Done. That did go in, just needed a little bit more pressure than I thought. So yeah, handlebars on. Now we need to, well, that's it. That's step 15 complete. Down for a minute. Now we can turn over the page and we'll put the instructions up in the corner there for step 16. And fortunately, we've done the tank. So that's done actually. We can mark that off. It's all been done. 17. Number 17 up in the corner there. And here we go. So the handlebars are going to go in place. And there's a 20mm screw, which should be one of the last. Well, there's a couple more, but there's a large screw in there we need. That's that one. And what else? Going by that, it looks like yeah, a couple of parts to go on, but we know where all these leads, where all these tubes are running to, so we'll make sure they're all threaded in the right direction. And yeah, all looks good. Okay, let me do this. And actually, I think back earlier in the instructions, it just shows the handlebars already connected on top of the front wheel portion. It didn't actually show them going on. It's strange. Excuse me. But anyway, so I guess we can just attach this onto here. So that's just going to go into there like that. All good. And then this whole thing goes on the bike. Okay, I see. So we need to move this around. Do a quick test fit. It's going to slide in there. I think that will work. I hope that'll work. Gosh. I got a bad feeling I put this on the wrong way around. Fortunately, it's not glued. Okay. Because it held tight before. There we go. I thought it looked a bit odd. Now we're the right way around. And now that's going to fit. Yep. Good stuff. All right. I will put the screw in first and then the handlebars on. And we'll come back and have a look. Okay. We'll be back in a sec. Just before I go, I did have it the right way around. It was the whole thing that was the wrong way around like that. Okay. There we go. Jeez, I tell you. And you wouldn't believe I ride a motorbike, would you? My God. All right, that's going to go there. This will go in here. Okay. All right, I'm going to need to do this off camera. I'll be back in a sec. Okay, that went on. It's just a bit of fiddling around. But yeah, there you go. Fantastic, looking good. And now we can put the handlebars on, I think. Yeah, I think so. They're going to go on. This. That's it. That sits in there. Beautiful. And we've got to use the side stand now because it's not going to stay up. All right, so this one we need to thread, okay, down through the forks there. I'll show you where it's going to go. We'll go down into there, I think. Just have a quick look. Oh, that's a good one. It actually goes into the back there, so that's going to be a little tricky. We'll have to work on that with the tweezers. Let's have a look at the other side. And these two go inside the forks here and go in through that side. I'm not sure where they're running to. They do go down there. And this one comes straight down the front here and looks like it connects straight onto there. Yeah, there's one for that to go on there. That one's easy. All right, I'm going to do this off camera or my fingers will be everywhere and you won't see a thing. And yeah, we'll come back when that's done. Hopefully very shortly. Now, there's also another part called E2, which goes to, I think it looks like a chrome piece that sits over and covers that screw bolt head. So that's good. And then there's another piece, 28, that sits down the side of the engine. Not sure what that is, but we need that. And there's a B18 that also looks like a coil or something or other. Sits in under the engine as well. So I'll get those parts off the sprue. Back in a sec. Okay, so here's our parts off. This looks like a bit of a sort of a cooling thing. I'm not too sure what that is, but it goes up under the front. I guess that's the radiator. If that's the radiator, it's extremely small. I've got a Suzuki V-Strom 1000. My radiator takes up the whole, definitely not like that. But anyway, that's what it is. So that's going to go up under there and sit on in the frame. The tube just pokes up under the tank and doesn't connect to anywhere. And that's also what I found out these two do as well. They go down and it just curves up inside the tank and goes to no connection point. We've also got this chrome part here, which will sit pretty much just on there. It's going to go in there like that. But before I put it on there, we need to paint a little bit. And that will be these pipes at the top have to be done flat black. So I'll do that. And there's these clip at the top here that also got to be done metallic grey. But I might give it and that link down the bottom there a bit of a the brass look that we're putting in touches around the bike as well. So I might do those pipes brass. How's that? Yeah, I think that'll look good. All right, so I'll go and paint them up. I'll even put them on. Then we'll come back and have a look. Okay, back in a second. Okay, welcome back everybody. So I've got those parts up on. There's the, if you can see that in there, you can probably just make it out. All right, it's a tiny little radiator. I'm sure that's what it is in there. That's in. There's this, which I figured out is an oil cooler. I'm pretty sure that's an oil cooler with our copper lines on it. And I also, you probably might notice, I've added some copper down here as well, just to touch that up, give that a little bit of colour. It looks good. All right, all our lines off the handlebars are all running into the correct places, except this one here, which we've still got to, well, it hasn't told us where to go yet, but I think it runs down to the back there. And there it is. So looking pretty good. So that finishes step 17. And the next step will be step 18, where we do the accelerator, the footrests, and your clutch and gear changing down below. Look at that. It's looking good there. Still need to figure out what to do with the chrome on the side of that. We'll see. But yeah, looking nice. So yeah, so step 18. In fact, we're not far from finishing. There's actually only another 2 more steps and it's done. So we're going to finish it in the next video. So part 4 will be the final of this build. And yeah, looking forward to it. And while I just think of it, I've got decals to put in the top there as well. Okay. All right, thanks for watching, guys. Please comment below if you've got anything you want to mention, or give me a tip, or your ideas or thoughts, or just motivate me to keep going. Not that I need it, because I'm really enjoying this build. And give us a thumbs up if you like the video. Please subscribe if you're not already. Hit that subscribe button, hit the bell there, and hit all so you get notified each time my videos come out, which is just once a week. Don't forget to jump on my live stream. Put that up in the corner there. Every Friday here, Thursday night, other countries around the world. Again, if you're notified, you'll get notified and it'll pop up and give you a reminder when it's on. You're welcome to join me on the live stream. And sometimes we have a special guest on there and make it more interesting. All right, guys, thank you all very much. And we'll see you in the last part, which will be part 4 of the Tamiya Yamaha XV1600 Roadstar. All right, guys, bye for now. Cheers.